Depending where this message finds you, it might not feel like spring. Nonetheless, hope's eternal has arrived, and there's a chill in the air even in the warmest of places. With the addition of Alex Bregman, the Red Sox infield, Rafael Devers making it clear on Monday what position he plays.
So are you saying if they ask you to DH, you won't do it?
No.
Can you expand on that? I mean, like,
I play third.
sorry, just to back up. What if they insist you have to DH?
No.
Even if they insist?
No.
What about first base?
No.
Like I've been saying, it's my position, and I'm not just going to change on a whim like that.
He said when he signed the long-term extension that you guys said that he'd be the third baseman long-term. Do you think the relationship is strained right now? He doesn't seem happy that, like, the team has gone back on their word. Strange between...
Different people here, right? There's a different leader here. So, you know, Jaime is in St. Louis right now.
Spicy right out of the gates. CBS MLB insider Jim Bowden in with all the latest. JB, it's always great to see your smiling face because that means the games grow closer, but we don't need games for headlines. Interesting discourse here early at Sox camp. Devers in the midst of that 11-year deal that they allude to. Bregman, the newly inked 1-1-1. How do we get everyone to play nice?
Yeah, I mean, look, these are times I don't miss being a GM, to be honest, because, look, I understand the problem from both sides, right? So from the GM chair, if you're Craig Breslow and the manager, Alex Cora, you know what's best for your team. And that's Alex Bregman to play third base, right? And Devers DHing or Devers at first base. That is your best team. Now, you can still put Alex Bregman at second base and you can win. I think Bregman will be a plus-plus defender at second base, but he was the Gold Glove winner at third base last year. And as a GM and a manager, what you want the players to say is exactly what Bregman said when he signed with Boston. I just want to win, and I'll play wherever Alex Cora wants me to play because I'm about the team and I'm about winning championships. That's what, as a former GM, that's what we want to hear from the players. That's not what Devers said. And look, I have compassion to what Devers is coming from. I mean, he signed a contract through 2033 at over $313 million to be the face of this franchise. And although it was Chaim Bloom at the time running the baseball ops that gave him the contract, the Red Sox organization did promise that he would be the third baseman and that he was signing to be the third baseman. And that's where he wants to play. He's not comfortable moving to first. And at his young age, he doesn't want to DH. So I understand where Devers is coming from. Now, as the GM and manager, you have a couple of options now, right? First thing you can do is force him to move to first or force him to DH, of which if he doesn't want to do it, he can go home. I had that situation when I was GM of the Washington Nationals, and I wanted Alfonso Soriano to play left field, and he didn't want to play left field, and he only wanted to play second base. I threatened him, but basically said, look, if you don't want to play left field, then you go home. I'll put you on the restricted list and won't pay you. He ended up playing left field. He hit 40 homers, stole 40 bases, and thanked me later. So these things are tricky. For the Red Sox, the best play might be just put Bregman at second for this year, leave Devers at third. The only problem with that, their one of their top two prospects, Christian Campbell's a second baseman, and they were hoping that Campbell would be at second, Bregman at third, and then Devers either at first or DH because that would give them their best team. If you put Bregman at second, that means that Campbell has to go back to AAA for more seasoning. But it's going to be fascinating, honestly, to see how this plays out because there's no great answer. Bregman's going to play wherever you put him, but Devers' position, it's pretty strong. And when you're getting paid $313 million, I think it's going to be fascinating to see if Boston forces this issue or if they let the face of the franchise remain at third. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'd rake the infield for that Devers deal between innings, JB. Some unwilling to move, others doing so to try and stay on the field. Here's Mike Trout and his impending move to right field.
I knew it was coming, but just got used to it. But I just want to be on the field. So
Joe Madden broached this a couple years ago, and at that time you were no on center field.
Yeah,
so what has changed in your mind?
Nah, I mean, just look at my last couple of years. Just trying to preserve the legs and just, go out there and run some balls down the right, and that's what we came to, and I'm with it.
All right, JB, the career center fielder has spent 14 seasons patrolling the gaps, but only pieces of the last 4 due to a rash of injuries. Is this the right move at the right time as Ron Washington tries to get this team back to a point of relevancy?
Yeah, it's definitely the right move. It's the move that should have happened 3 years ago when it was first approached to him. You know, we don't see Mike Trout on the field, right? 29 games last year is all he played. The year before that, in 2023, only played in 82 games, basically half the games. And the last time we saw him play in 120 games was 2019. He's now 33 years old. You know, I think there's an argument that I would ask him to be a full-time DH and kind of do what the Yankees did with Giancarlo Stanton and just completely take him out of the field because he's never healthy. I mean, this is a Hall of Fame hitter that's capable still of hitting 340 homers, but you never get it because he can't stay healthy. I think moving from center to right is a step in the right direction to keep him healthy, but I got to tell you, I would like him to DH just as much as he plays right field. I think that would be the best play, and see if he can't get a year of his offense. For the amount of money the Angels are paying him, I think they got to do everything they can to get him healthy. So it is the right move. It took way too long to make this move, but at least it's a step in the right direction, I think.
We'll always have those moments of Trout climbing the wall, making plays in the gap, but just want to see the young man at the plate playing some ball, and that has been the issue over these last few seasons. Let's stay in the trainer's room, and the aforementioned Giancarlo Stanton also a topic here because he's uncertain for opening day with tendonitis in both elbows. Reportedly hasn't swung a bat in almost a month. What does this mean for a Yankee group already being forced to supplement big production in the heart of that lineup?
Yeah, it's not good if you have tendonitis in both elbows. I mean, not one elbow, but both. I mean, we've seen the injuries over the last several years with Stanton and the Yankees. It's always been a problem. We shouldn't expect it to get any better. But the fact that we already know, we're not even in March, and we already know he won't be there opening day, I mean, that tells you the seriousness and the pain that he has in both elbows. And so I think for the Yankees, you can't ignore this. I think you have to go out and make a move now because, remember, you also have a whole third base where right now it looks like Oswaldo Cabrera and DJ LeMahieu are going to share that position. You've got a 37-year-old playing first base in Paul Goldschmidt. So first base, third base, a little bit of a question mark. Now DH is a question mark. You know, there are a couple of veteran players left on the free agent market right now, and Justin Turner and JD Martinez. It might be smart. Alex Verdugo is still out there. It might be smart for the Yankees to go make a depth play here. But yeah, this is a big blow to them. And this is a Yankee team that arguably is better than last year because of the acquisitions of Max Fried, Devin Williams, Cody Bellinger, and Paul Goldschmidt. But at the same time, Boston has gotten a lot better. Baltimore is really good. Tampa Bay's starting pitching is finally healthy. The Blue Jays have added Santander, Hoffman, Scherzer, and others. So this division is getting better. And I kind of feel like for the New York Yankees, they can't rest on their laurels here, and I think they need to go get a bat because of this.
Yeah, you better come out of that gate running with all of that competition there in the division. Notable Mets news as well. Polar Pete reporting, a bit overshadowed by the club shutting down starter Frankie Montas for 6 to 8 weeks with a high-grade lat strain. Let's hear from Alonso first here on his offseason negotiations.
In your mind, were you ever close to going somewhere else?
I mean, for me, like, for me, this was it. Like, I mean, throughout the entire offseason, we had the best dialogue from the Mets, and like that was it. Like, and for us, like this was the best opportunity, and for me, and I mean, I'm just really happy to be back. I mean, this was it.
Always great to keep a clubhouse presence like Alonso in the building, but JB, my mind right now goes to Montas. Inked that 2-year deal back in December. Elbows and shoulders, they're never good, but sometimes you get down to that lat and it gets even more complicated. What do you take away from this news piece?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll start with Alonso. He didn't get an offer more than 3 years from anybody, and so he wasn't going anywhere else. And I would love, if I'm the Mets, the fact that I got him on a 3-year deal and $54 million here on these first couple years. But if I'm Alonso and I have an opt-out, like, you're in such a great position because if you're the Mets, he's going to want to hit his 40 home runs. And if you're Alonso, you're now going to have Juan Soto hitting in front of you and Francisco Lindor. Like, you're in the perfect spot to hit 40 and drive in 120 and go back on the open market where there's going to be a lot more big market teams that are going to need a first baseman. So Pete's in a good spot. He's with the team he wants to be, but also for his future contract, I think he's in a really good spot. Now, in terms of Montas, if you and I both know, Joe, that Frankie Montas has been injury prone, right? Everywhere he's gone. Oakland, the Yankees, the Reds, He did pitch well with the Brewers at the end of last year, but you had to know when you signed him it was high risk. And I know the Mets hit on all those starters last year. It's hard to hit 2 years in a row with those kind of starters. And Montas being injured early, not a good sign. They're trying to make Clay Holmes from a reliever into a starter. I don't know if he's going to be able to improve that changeup to get left-hand hitters out. That's something we're all going to have to watch early on, but that's a question mark. And then the key to the Mets is going to be Kodai Senga. Can Senga be healthy and make 30 starts and pitch 180 innings and be the guy that they signed? I think he's more important than any of them. But certainly this Montas injury is a setback that you shouldn't ignore.
And here I thought they were just playing pepper, that is, at spring training. Easy for me to say. Jim Bowden, it is always a pleasure.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, here's a look at some key dates on the way in the bigs as you know you're going to have news. Full squad workouts for all teams coming here on Tuesday. Thursday, you get your Cactus League opener with the Cubs and Dodgers. Friday, in Florida, it's the Rays and the Yankees. Then we start counting them March 18th and 19th in Tokyo with the Cubs and Dodgers, with opening day scheduled a handful later.